Do you think Mosasaurus was totally unbeatable? Exactly. Do you think the Megalodon is terrifying? They are really horrifying. Do you think Leviathan was the top ocean predator? Absolutely correct. But I'm gonna tell you a terrifying fact. 470 million years ago, if their ancestors encountered this creature, they would only do one thing silently. Pray it isn't hungry. It was the only creature back then that feared nothing at all. What's even more chilling is, paleontologists have a hypothesis. This creature was extremely ferocious. It forced early fish to evolve rapidly, driving them to gain greater speed, sturdier bones, and smarter brains. Later on, these fish climbed onto land. They stood upright and mastered fire, manufactured mobile phones, and started watching TikTok. Your wisdom, bones, and nervous system, part of it was evolved under its relentless predation. It was the most feared natural enemy of your ancestors. Also the earliest shepherd of human civilization. It is called Camarasaurus. If you think this sounds absurd, please listen to this sound. Can you feel a trace of fear? And its story, far crazier than any monster movie. Travel back 470 million years ago. Pay attention, 470 million years ago. How immense is this figure? Dinosaurs didn't appear until 230 million years ago. Humans have only existed for millions of years. Back then, Camarasaurus ruled the planet as the overlord. The land was utterly lifeless at that time. No trees, no grass, not even insects. All life and stories unfolded in the ocean. Trilobites were the most abundant creatures in the ocean. A small creature covered in hard shell, accounting for 60% of all marine life back then. They thrived on Earth for 300 million years, known as the toughest survivors in history. Yet they lived in constant fear all their lives, for there lurks a creature in the sea that haunts their dreams. It is the Camarasaurus. The moment you lay eyes on it, you may be stunned at first glance. It looks just like a giant ice cream cone, a straight conical hard shell, tapering towards the tip, stretching nearly 6 meters long. 6 meters is the length of a medium-sized bus. Yet this is only its shell. No one knows the actual length of its head and tentacles. Scientists estimate based on the proportion of modern squids. Its head and tentacles combined may be longer than its shell, meaning this sea monster could stretch over 10 meters in total length. How does it hunt its prey? Here is a key detail, which surprises many people. Camarasaurus never chases its prey. Its shell is heavy and lengthy. Chasing is simply impossible. It hides in crevices among rocks. It hovers motionlessly. Its tentacles dangle loosely at the edge of the crack, swaying like seaweed, showing no sign of a predator. The trilobite notices nothing. It creeps slowly along the reef, searching for algae and food as usual. It never realizes those seaweed-like tentacles sense its every move. Closer and closer it draws. In an instant, the tentacles lash out like chains, pinning it firmly down. The trilobite retracts into its shell, yet it is futile. Camarasaurus thrusts its hard beak inside, biting down like industrial shears and crushing the shell instantly. It feeds fiercely, leaving broken shells, limbs, and flesh scattered around the rocks. Then Arandaspis appears. This tiny bony armored creature only a few centimeters long is not worth Camarasaurus' attention. It lingers behind to pick up scraps, surviving timidly beneath the giant creature's shadow. But do you know the most bizarre part of this story? That tiny scavenger later evolved into fish, evolving into amphibians, then reptiles, and eventually mammals into you. Speaking of this, I have to mention nature's utterly bizarre design. Camarasaurus' shell is not solid. Its interior is divided into separate chambers, connected by a thin tube called the siphuncle. Camarasaurus adjusts the ratio of gas and liquid inside each chamber to precisely control buoyancy and diving depth. It forms a natural and fully automatic submarine balance system. It existed as early as 470 million years ago. Humans didn't build practical submarines until the late 19th century. Nature figured it out nearly 500 million years earlier. Now for the cruel part. How did such powerful creatures die out? 443 million years ago. At the end of the Ordovician period, the Earth underwent drastic changes. The mainstream scientific explanation is that the Gondwana drifted near the Antarctic, triggering a sharp global cooling. Glaciers expanded massively and sea levels dropped sharply. The warm, shallow seas where Camarasaurus lived vanished abruptly instead of shrinking gradually. This disaster wiped out 85% of marine species on Earth, known as the Late Ordovician mass extinction, the second most devastating mass extinction in Earth's history. Camarasaurus perished in this catastrophe. It vanished forever from fossil records. But the story doesn't end here, because there comes a sudden twist. This is the part that really gives me goosebumps. Camarasaurus died out, yet 2 branches of cephalopods survived the extinction. These 2 survivors evolved into all cephalopods living in today's oceans. Nautilus, cuttlefish, octopus, squid. Yes, the squid you eat at barbecue stalls. Its ancestor was the most terrifying creature on Earth 470 million years ago. Yet we regard them as food nowadays. The descendants of former kings end up like this. Hard to say if evolution is ruthless or humans are formidable. Here's one last little known detail. Yet I believe this is the most stunning part of the Camarasaurus story. Paleontologists put forward a hypothesis. The existence of giant predators like Camarasaurus may have inadvertently reshaped the evolutionary fate of vertebrates. Ordovician period. The ancestors of fish were extremely vulnerable back then. They had simple skeletons, slow speed, and poor senses. Faced with Camarasaurus, they had only one choice: evolve stronger or perish. Thus, predation pressure forced early fish to evolve lighter skeletons, stronger muscles, and more sensitive nervous systems. Later, their descendants ventured onto land. After a long span of time, they stood upright and mastered fire. They created submarines. They began to study the sea monster that lived 470 million years ago. While Camarasaurus preyed on our ancestors, it gradually drove us into what we are today. It was our natural enemy, yet also our shepherd. Thus, extinction is never the end. Camarasaurus vanished 400 million years ago, yet its genes still linger on your barbecue skewers tonight. The fear it inflicted is etched deep in our bones. A species ended its reign spanning tens of millions of years, bringing a complete reshuffle of the ocean ecosystem. The fall of mighty species is never the end, but the dawn of new life. You can think, feel, and marvel at a fossil today. It's not that ancestors were lucky, but they once lived in sheer fear, for you are the final answer that survived all hardships.